that is wrecked in practice and the team has to go to a backup car, they have to go to the back of the starting grid. That's the reason there. If there was an incident on track that required the use of the caution flag and to slow the field behind the pace car, that would allow those cars that are running well behind the leaders to catch up in that line when they slow under caution. That's what Earnhardt is looking for, to try to get back with a pack to draft with. Back up front.
Right now, Earnhardt is running 18 seconds behind the leader. That's not quite a half a lap, but it's a long way.
Rusty Wallace, 0 for 16 in the Daytona 500. He has taken some wild tumbles here. Set a goal 2 years ago to just finish this race, and did. And has worked his way up into contention both last year and this to win the 500. His 17th try to win the great race.
Mike, at the end of this line right here is a very, very cagey driver, and he won his first race ever at Daytona this past week. Mark Martin's just sitting there in that 6 car, riding along in that front draft, and this is the best effort he's ever had at Daytona.
What this lead pack is trying to do right now is draft away from the rest of the field. That's why you're not seeing them passing. Each of these drivers is a proven commodity. They are all past Winston Cup race winners, and they know that to put themselves and keep themselves in a position to win by staying in that front pack amongst proven drivers that they can trust at 190 miles an hour is their best chance to be up front at the end of the day.
And certainly the least number that you can have up there, the better chances you have at the end, even though that 6 car pack is running some of the better laps that we've seen here today. They would like to get on away from the others.
One driver moving up is Wally Dallenbach. He's new with Rick Hendrick Motorsports as a full-time driver this year, as you watch from our Budweiser cam. Now, if Louie and Frank were stuck to that hood pin, no, let's not go there.
I didn't know those folks could talk till I saw the last commercial.
Wally's moving up. He started 34th, and now he's running in 19th place. The former SCCA Road Racing Trans Am champion, pulling alongside Derek Cope and running right behind Kyle Petty. Kyle had a big grin on his face. He was a cameraman yesterday out in the pits. His son Adam, a 4th generation Petty, racing here at Daytona. And Kyle was a proud dad. He was snapping pictures of everything.
Boy, what a talent, too. I mean, he drove the wheels off that car all day long.
Finished in the top 10, 6th, I think it was. Just a great day for him.
Now that lead draft may get a little longer. Once again, the second pack is closing in on the 6 front runners.
Exactly. The minute they quit trying to pass each other back there, they started closing back in on that front group. Side by side, don't get it if you're trying to catch them.
Mike Skinner is the guy who is pulling that second pack. He has a very fast race car. We saw him lead this race for a while, a little bit earlier. And he hasn't lost any of that speed. He just got shuffled out of the draft there. But there's some racing going on back there in that track.
Bill Elliott is up high. That's the number 94, and Chad Little 97 as they race. Teammates Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart, the green and orange Pontiac.
And a brother just in front of you up there, the number 5, Terry Labonte, pulling Bobby Labonte, and teammate there, as you said.
That battle is for 10th place. There is Kenny Irwin, that black and orange number 28 from Robert Yates Racing, teammate to Dale Jarrett, the former USAC open wheel champion, last year's Rookie of the Year on the Winston Cup circuit. Here's Bill Stevens.
Kenny Irwin has sliced through the field from 41st up to 10th. I just spoke to his crew chief, Doug Richard, and I said, what's Kenny saying to you? He says, he's not saying much. Doing that well, you don't say anything.
Good ride for Irwin. Not much for the fans in the stands with those programmable scanners to listen to on that channel.
Kenny feels that he has something to prove this year. His rookie year last year was not what he expected. That number 28 car is a very high-profile car, and maybe he put too much pressure on himself. Maybe other people expected too much of him, because it's tough for a rookie to come in this series, regardless of how good of a race car you got, and win week in and week out. And he wants to show people that he can drive one of these things, and he can. He's a very good talent.
Ned, he had very little full-fendered race car experience before he came to Winston Cup. He spent a year in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, did very well there, but everything else that he had driven had been open-wheel, lightweight race cars.
He had a good run in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series for a year and then moved into Winston Cup, and boy, that was a big jump.
84 laps are complete. We're closing in on halfway as you ride with Robert Presley, chasing Michael Waltrip in the 41st Annual Daytona 500. We'll be right back. Tonight on CBS, how difficult is it for criminals to buy guns? Let some undercover cops show you how easy it is tonight on 60 Minutes. Then Olympic gold medalist Tara Lipinski guest stars on an all-new Touched by an Angel, followed by an emotional story inspired by true events. A woman's search for her true mother. ER's Gloria Rubin and Anne Bancroft star in the CBS Sunday movie Deep in My Heart tonight on CBS. Saturday at 1 o'clock, conference crunch time on CBS Sports, NCAA hoops coverage. Tubby Smith's Kentucky Wildcats tangle with Nolan Richardson's Arkansas Razorbacks, or you'll see Miami battle the number 2 UConn Huskies next Saturday on CBS. Here's the new Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of NASCAR, Mike Helton, in the drivers' meeting introducing Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. He said, "We're honored to have with us a member of the highest court in the land." He said, "Okay, after Bill France, the second highest court in this land."
Exactly.
And congratulations to Mike on his new responsibilities overseeing all the day-to-day activities of NASCAR. Bill France Jr. remains Chief Executive Officer and President.
Yeah, and Mike Helton's a nice guy. You see Rusty Wallace right now. He is flying around this racetrack. This front group, they're closing in on some pretty good race cars. Darrell Waltrip is in jeopardy of going a lap down in just a second, just in front of several good race cars in front of him.
Well, their speed has picked up since he's picked up the draft of those cars are coming up the lap. He's running about 47.50 now, and he had slowed down to about 47.75 to 80, but he's picking up the draft of those cars, and the closer they get, the faster they'll go.
Fellas, I can't put a finger on it as to why this is going on, but can you imagine we're halfway? It's just that the driving is so excellent this year. Here we are, 185-mile-an-hour average. We had not one caution. When Buddy Baker set that record back in 1980 at 177 miles an hour, we had 5 cautions, 15 laps under yellow. Hasn't been one today. The execution of these guys, amazing with these restrictor plate engines. Buddy, your record could be challenged out here.
You know what? I'd rather have a good, safe race than to keep a record. So this is a great race right now. They're getting around here. And in the meeting this morning, in the drivers' meeting, they said, okay, you guys are the greatest drivers in the world. Act like it.
Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Mike, Rusty Wallace has won plenty of races over his career, but the other night at dinner, he told me the story about the first race he ever won. It was a heat race in a late model stock car. He says, you know, I was so excited. I was transferring on to the main event. I got the car into the main event. We started the race. I forgot to gas the thing up, and I run out of fuel just a few laps in. Something tells me you won't have that problem today.
There's Wallace's number 2 beginning to lap his brother Mike Wallace and some of these other cars. That is one great thing about the heroes of NASCAR. None of them came out of high school to full scholarships. None of them came out of college to $1 million signing bonus. Every one of these drivers started out at a quarter-mile track running Saturday night somewhere, be it Caribou, Maine, or El Cajon, California, or anywhere in between. There are thousands of short tracks to race every weekend. And if you're having fun today, folks, get out and see one of them this summer, because that's where the future stars of this circuit will come from.
And every fan in that grandstand, that's where they started out also. That's where your fan base comes from to make this great event, the Daytona 500.
There's a racetrack in every state but Rhode Island, and they've got a pretty good one right next door at Seacon, Massachusetts. The Winston Racing Series of NASCAR runs on those short tracks all summer long. So call NASCAR, or as we say, check your local listings, and get out to see a race this summer. Kenny Wallace is down on the track apron as they come through the tri-oval here, and he is off the pace.
He is definitely off the pace. Looks like smoke coming from underneath the car, and also the Elliott Sadler car, number 21, is in the pits.
Ned, he had drifted way up high on the racetrack 1 lap ago, and the rookie driver driving for the Wood brothers, who have won this race 5 times, has an early stop.
Yeah, and that was right in front of the leaders. When he went up high there, you could see how fast the leaders were going by there.
Kenny Wallace has lost, apparently, the engine. No oil pressure, he radioed to his crew.
And I doubt if he'll be able to coast back around to the pits. It'll be interesting to see. Will they get the car off the racetrack somewhere where they won't need to throw a caution, or will he just stop out there somewhere?
I'm going to make a little bet here. I bet he does not let his brother have to have a caution right now. He's going to probably pull that car off somewhere out of the way.
The drivers were advised in the drivers meeting this morning that there are several locations on the backstretch where they can turn in out of harm's way. We'll see if Wallace chooses to do so or try to get to the pits and see if they can make repairs. We've been caution free here so far, and we're 6 laps from halfway.
He's still out there just on the edge of the racetrack.
And there's a $10,000 bonus for the halfway, and they see that Jeremy Mayfield has taken over second from Dale Jarrett. Got up there with his teammate.
Caution
is out.
Oil on the racetrack. Reports on some of the in-car radios. So they will come to the caution flag for the first time today.
And they'll race back to the caution flag. Some of those drivers about to go a lap down, and Steve Park is one of them. He will stay on the lead lap, but Jeff Burton was not so lucky. He just had gone a lap down.
As well as Gerald Waltrip and the other guys. That is really bad racing luck when you get caught like that.
Caution come out the next lap.
Yeah.
First caution of the day, and we were coming up anyway on the second round of green flag pit stops. So Dick Berggren, pit road will be a busy place.
Maybe Rusty Wallace didn't want to see this caution flag, but Dale Jarrett sure did. He ran over some debris on the racetrack about a half or 3/4 of a lap ago. He didn't know if he'd cut a tire down or not. Right now, that's all going to be academic because he will be coming in, as will everybody else, for 4 tires.
You can see that Kenny had pulled off the racetrack, but the oil was the reason for the caution.
Last year, the first caution flag in the race didn't occur until lap 126. We are 95 laps into the Daytona 500. 5 laps from halfway.
There are still 31 cars on the lead lap, and all of those will be coming into the pits.
When they open pit road to the competitors, only those cars on the lead lap will be allowed to pit. Cars that are 1 or more laps down have to wait until the second time by before they can come in and get their service. On pit road, whether it's under the green flag or under caution, the cars are limited to 55 miles an hour. In the interest of safety for the pit crews, 7 men are allowed to jump over the wall and service the race cars. Kenny Wallace getting a push from one of the wreckers to come back around either to pit road or the garage area. As they line up and peel off, all the lead lap cars this time should come to pit road.
Ricky Rudd is one of those who had just gone a lap down, so he'll have to stay out there a lap.
We're watching first, second, and third place, top to bottom, on the left side of your screen. Dick Berggren.
Dale Jarrett in the pits right now. He's the one that was lucky to catch that caution flag. Robbie Hancock's going to do the front tires. Brad Parrott's on the back. Steve Allen's on the gas. Mike Ford on the jack. Going to make a full tire change here to route.
Rusty Wallace's crew going to work. Bill Wilburn changing the front tires. Mark Armstrong working on the rears. They make no changes to the car. He had a great stop. He gets out just in front of Dale Jarrett. That's right where they wanted him. He is in great shape. They are really pumped down here. To Bill Stevens.
Mike Skinner just completed his stop. 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires. He was out in 18 seconds. A fine stop for the Lowe's crew.
So coming off pit road, Rusty Wallace leads Dale Jarrett once again. Jeremy Mayfield is about 3 spots further back after pit stops. And the hood is up on Bobby Labonte's car. That is not a good sign.
We had heard earlier that the engine had a little bit of a skip in it. They're probably looking at wires and things to see if they can find it. Dick Berggren?
Well, Dale Jarrett's also got a problem. He's apparently picked up some sort of a hole in the front fender, and they are going to bring that car back in again on pit road. You saw the problems that happen when there are troubles on pit road with a green flag racing. Guy gets out of the lead pack, and he is really in trouble. Meanwhile, the 18, Bobby Labonte, still on pit road. They are trying to find that skip. They have tried to figure it out all day. This time, they're taking no chances. Look at this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 mechanics under the hood simultaneously. 5 of them all trying to find it. And you heard it. That engine is not running sweet right now. It has decidedly got to skip. Tough day for Labonte. They had run so well early on.
Now, Dick, they have the luxury of time. With the field running behind the pace car under caution, it gives Labonte about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to service that car. He will still be on the lead lap when he comes around. We're under caution at lap 96. CBS coverage continues after this message and a word from your local station.